passionate, and we have today with us Mr. Pratik Kataria. I'm very proudly saying that Pratik is my very own student. Recently, he passed out, and his journey of career is very interesting. He is a dynamic young professional currently working under PMFME scheme of Ministry of Food Processing Industry. He's a food technologist, and he did recently MTech Food Engineering and Technology from Institute of Chemical Technology. And when he was with us, and when he went for an implant training as a trainee, he had many success stories. He contributed significantly while being there as a trainee, solving variety of problems of the industry. So he is here today with us to share many success stories as a fresh graduate trainee, as well as postgraduate student grabbing his first job in a very good food industry, and then later on getting a job into a Ministry of Food Processing. So apart from that, he's a very passionate person who would like to help others by sharing his own expertise as well as success stories. And with this, I welcome you, Pratik, for this webinar session, and I would like to thank you for joining here today.
And I really liked his presentation, especially the slide very explained how life in reality is like a khichdi. So starting with in my presentation, I would share my screen.
Yes, make it in a yes, perfect. Thank you.
So welcome everyone. I am Pratik Kataria. I belong from Uttarakhand. I would love to share my story, a slice of life of Pratik Kataria. So starting with the journey, I belong from Uttarakhand, as I told you. See, the food technology journey for me, I would say that it started actually when I was a kid. I used to be very much curious about what was written at the back of the pack when we used to consume any beverage or fruity or something, like what is this acidity regulator, or what is 330 INS codes and all. I used to be very curious. So I would say that the journey started actually very early. My both parents are like doctors. Still, I wanted to become an engineer from an early age. So I pursued, like every one of you, I pursued IIT, I pursued IIEEE. I even got into that. I would say that food technology was not my first choice. I really wanted to be into mechanical and all. But when I entered into NIFTM was my graduation college. I went there in 2013. From that point onward, everything which I studied was like a fact. I couldn't believe that something so important for us is having so much of science involved in it. The studies continued. I studied. I also got plugged into one paper, and then I passed it again. So I would say that I was not like a very smart person, but like all of you, we failed, then we learned, and then we passed, and like this the journey continued, like up and down scale. So I would say that when I was in graduation in NIFTM, I used to do or get involved in a lot of things, extracurricular activities like designing a magazine. I even got a training. I was very much interested into trainings. So every summer holidays, I used to get trainings. Like I used to get contacts. We did a 1 month training in Bikaner Wala, and then I did a training in RK Foodland, which is a distribution chain for McDonald's. There I also learned a lot of things related to food safety and quality assurance. And we also did a project on developing a machinery for hybrid dryers. And then we passed NIFTM. After passing NIFTM, I would say that all of us, we are having this kind of thing whereby we try to get confused in life, like what do we have to do, and there was no proper goal, as I would say. So we usually try to do a lot of things. Like I prepared for CAT, I prepared for GATE. So I first thing I would suggest is like always try a lot of things simultaneously. It's like always try to pursue a lot of things. You might never know what will suit you or what will be like good for you. Okay, like Mr. Prakash explained, life in reality is like a khichdi. It is not a straight line. After that, but you should be very adamant on like, I have to pursue something in life and I have to be great in life and I have to achieve something like this. From that point onwards, after during my btech, I prepared a lot with my friends, and I then I went qualified gate. I came to ICT is also a very marvelous college. And from there, I went to training in Tasty Bite. Then I got a job placement in Kevin Care in 2020. And as an associate scientist, I was involved to new product development, brainstorming sessions. After doing a job for 1 year 6 months, my thought process changed a lot. I would say that in the whole journey, your thought process will change a lot, and you should not force yourself to stop it. You should just let it be. You should try to evolve it. After that, I joined as a young professional in December 2020, and currently I am as a young professional in Ministry of Food Processing. Going to the further slide, life at Institute of Chemical Technology was very good. It is a student-oriented college. You will love a lot of things in ICT because it is a student-oriented college. You would participate in a lot of things. You would try to structure yourself, and in this process, you will learn all these management skills like communication, how to communicate with people, how to communicate with your junior, how to communicate with your senior. So these things are very important in life to learn. ICT gives a very impressive research and tech development opportunities. They're having a lot of faculties, a lot of good projects. Like I used to do a project in cavitation of orange juice. It was a novel technology, and we even got an international research paper from it. Then this gave me a very good opportunity to work in Tasty Bite Eatables, which Shalini ma'am was referring to. In that company, I was as an intern, and we learned a lot. Whatever we acquired the knowledge from our journey as a food technologies, from the subjects, we applied that knowledge into solving a lot of problem which was there online in the industries. And we cleared a lot of problems which used to happen there. I would not go deep into this, but I also learned for how to operate machineries, how to establish food safety norms, how to use the FSSAI 22,000 and FSSAI 9,000 into the industry in real time. We used to work with quality team, we used to work with the production team. And I would say that I was a very different person there. And I would say that why this was because I was always interested in doing or helping others. So you should always, as students or as postgraduate students or even as PhD, I have seen people who usually help others and help solve their problems. They inculcate a lot of knowledge, and this knowledge actually helps them in future. In terms of, first of all, they learned how to communicate with the other people. They learned one important skill, which is listening. So people nowadays, I have felt that they don't listen. They just try to, while listening, they just think of a solution in their head. So you will learn all these things when you actually, try to get involved with different teams. So this was the best thing which I used to do. Even though I was in the new source line, I used to talk to people and try to solve their problems in the old source line, in RTS section, in TOT section, and everywhere. So see, you cannot guarantee success. Okay, hard work doesn't guarantee you a success, but it will definitely guarantee you something. You will learn skills which are very important. And let's say it is a technical skill or it is a management skill. So you try to gain as much as information from the other sources as well. ICT also has a great placement opportunities. The companies which came when the placement session was there were Tetra Pak, Mondelez, ITC, Mapro, Kevin Care, eValueServe. So a lot of it was there. And there is, like I said, that it's a student-oriented college. There was sports and festival which used to happen like Manthan and Vortex. I was not a sports person in my BTech, but I used to play a lot of badminton in my MTech. I even enrolled myself into mixed martial arts, and I even won a gold in kickboxing. So from that, there also, I used to, because of this thing, I used to talk to a lot of people with other departments, such as dye stuff department and chemical department, juniors, seniors, which actually helped me structure my life, because a lot of people are having a lot of life hacks. Like I might be having some life hacks, and the other people might be having some life hacks related to career also. So this will actually help you. I would love to share you a story. When uh, I was preparing for my placements, I used to see that a lot of people, they got placed earlier before than me. I got very disheartened and all. But then this gave me a push that I started preparing a lot. I would share that I used to be the one who never used to come out of the room. I used to study late night. I used to study. Even I had deep dark circles in under my eyes, and people used to think that what is happening to this guy. But little by little, day by day, I was getting stronger and stronger. Actually, I was preparing for Tetra Pak. It was like a dream company for me that time. And I would share that I was not able to, crack the Tetra Pak. Although I went to a lot of, I passed a lot of interview, but I could crack into Tetra Pak. But the point which I wanted to share here is, even though I was not able to crack Tetra Pak, I became so strong that I got instantly into Kevin Care. So you see, like I would share you an example of a domino effect here. See, I don't know if all of you have know what a domino is. It's a rectangular bar, which is like a 2 by 1 inch bar. So there is a study done on dominoes. If you line up a dominoes and you give a slight knock on one domino, the whole dominoes will fall one after the other. The study was something like, if you increase a next domino size by 50%, you would see, and you keep on increasing the next domino size by 50%, you would see that just by a slight knock on the first domino, the last domino will let's say, for example, the 10th domino will fall with a big slam. So you can see that such power, even if you are a very small person, if you're very having less power, less knowledge and all, you can increase yourself, you can gain the knowledge, you can develop yourself, and you can knock even the more powerful and smarter guy in front of you. So this is the power of a domino effect. So this is and in reality, this can be correlated with the power of building yourself, the power of skill development, and the power of learning, so that in future you can become very strong. So continuing with the domino effect, if you will go to a 23rd domino, you can even knock the Tower of Pisa. If you'll go further, you can knock the Mount Everest. And I think the 150th dominoes in the same incremental manner can even knock the moon. So this was a study done by physicians and all, which is highly relatable to our life story. Going to the further slide, my experience in the research and development in Kevin Care was a very beautiful and a very learning experience. Now, there was a question with me why I chose R&D. See, I used to have this thinking that I want to create something of my own. So I was very interested in developing products. When I was in masters, I used to develop a product like a cupcake for a microwave cupcake, like you can microwave in 1 minute. And those were the people. They were not from my college. It was not a project which was given to me from the college. Also, these people I met somewhere in a cafe, and I started sharing my story, they started sharing their story, and then we kind of got together and started doing the project with whatever limited resources I used to get from the college itself. They even started funding me. So you can say that a lot of opportunities you will get when you will try to meet different kind of people, not even your background, they can be from any other background. You start sharing your story, and they will share your story. And definitely, if the things combine, you will get a huge opportunity which can pave your path for the future. As of now, I would say it is totally we don't know what are we going to be. I wanted to be something, and I am doing something very good at other something. So I would say that, but we learn a lot during this journey. So that is why I chose R&D. As I told, that there were a lot of opportunities which were coming related to packaging, related to quality, related to production. But because I wanted to create something of my own, that is why I started as a associate scientist in the Kevin K Private Limited, which is a very huge business turnover company in Chennai. It's an MNC company. Life as a product developer, I would say, is focused on learning. I would relate it to this to the slide which Mr. Prakash showed, whereby there is a formal learning, whereby you learn by someone else, and whereby you learn by the actual 90% you learn in the industry. I would say that whatever we have learned in as an academician, that is going to be there for in you forever, for your whole life. But the actual learning will happen when you will actually go into the field. You will actually start to realize that what is the actual problem which are coming from the field itself. Like some might say that my dough is not working properly in the machinery. What are the suggestions? So getting these questions, you will start to ponder on them, and you will start to learn, and you will start to apply those learning, and you will get into this hit and trial mode, whereby you will try to use all of your learning from the others itself, and try to solve the problem. And I would definitely say, the time you are able to solve that problem, that instant, you will feel so much motivated and confident enough in you that you would say, I can do anything now. So this was the learning as a product developer. My key research area when I was there, I developed a multi-protein, high-protein cookie with the golden ratio. I develop a multi-grain cocoa cake, and I develop a high-fiber cookie. And I can definitely say that when I joined uh, Kevin K Private Limited, I had like almost 10% of the knowledge which Sir told that was there from the academics. Rest knowledge I gained, and I became a very good product developer. And people used to admire that you are going to be a very good product developer in life. So this was the journey as far in Kevin Care. After that, as I will share you another story. During the lockdown, we all were there at home. We used to think a lot, because time was something like that. We used to ponder on a lot of things. So I started pondering that when I was working in Kevin Care, I started pondering that my company creates a huge business, and I have contributed a lot and created them a huge business. But I was thinking, what if I create only 100 rupees for a person who cannot create any money? Let's say anyone who doesn't have any skill, or anyone who doesn't know how to make any food product, or how to develop a food product, or how to market a food product, or how to sell a food product. So I used to think something like that. Uh, Day by day, I got into this pondering, and I was very much surprised that I realized that what I'm doing, something which I'm doing here, I can do to a person who doesn't know anything, and that person is going to have faith in me, or going to believe in me for his whole life. He will admire me for his whole life. From that point onwards, my whole thinking process got changed. I wanted to do something for the rural economy. I wanted to create, because of my technical expertise, I wanted to utilize them into the system. And meanwhile, during this process, I got to know that there is a vacancy in the Ministry of Food Processing Industries, and they have given a ample number of choices, like you can become a young professional, you can become a product developer, you can become a team lead. And I applied in all of them. I would say that you can apply in all of them. Let them decide what they want to do. I used to interview. I would say that there were MCQs round, there were subjective questionnaire rounds, and there were two interpersonal interviews also. And I filled the application form from the management side also, from the technical side also, from the product developer side also. And I used to be in this continuous mode of learning and executing it into the questionnaires and so giving personal interviews for almost 3 months. In my whole lab, everyone used to ask me, when are you going to get this position and all? You're trying from a very long time. There were times when I used to think that I don't know what is going to happen in the, I'm trying so much hard, whether I'll be able to do it or not, whether I'll be able to crack it or not. But then eventually, day by day, the process which I did, the learning which I inculcated, it actually helped me and cracked a position. And here I am working as a young professional in Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Currently, I am assisting the team with the implementation of management information system. Now, coming to the various queries, which because it's a career orientation session, and I would love to share you some of the points and some of the views, which some of the things which I have learned so far. See, what I would say that if you want to find a job, I would suggest that you should first look into the you should first structure yourself that where you want to be. Okay, like if you want to be a production, if you want to be into production, if you want to be into industry, if you want to be into an R&D role, if you want to be into a quality role, if you want to go into regulations, I think when you will study this subjects in the in your 4-year BTech or next 2-year MTech, you will get a hint that okay, I like these subjects more and I don't like these subjects more. When you go into some trainings or when you become an intern, you will visualize that whether I'm liking this system or I'm not liking this system. So this will help you structure yourself that what you want to achieve in your life ahead. See, I'm not saying that you will have the clarity in one go. It won't happen. It never happened with me. You will have clarity sequentially. You cannot have clarity in one go. You see, we haven't lived our whole life. We just like I'm 26 year of age, so I cannot visualize my whole life, right? So similarly, you cannot visualize your one point. You cannot visualize your whole thing. So sequentially you will visualize it. So don't worry about visualizing things. You will do it. It is there in you. So first of all is like after structuring where you want to be, you can go on a career page. Every company is having a career page whereby they will ask you to whereby they'll ask you to join. They'll ask you to update your CV. They update your cover letter, and from there, it's the rest is up to them. How are they going to visualize it? And how are they going to portray you from your CV? And if you suit their requirement, they will give you a call. The next point is like you can go on online, you can browse online. See, I would say when I was in ICT, everyone before me, they were getting placed, like two three people got placed before me. I got very much scared. I started thinking like, what can I do? Like, okay, placement is happening, but what can I do from my side? So I would suggest, I have seen people getting reluctant in their side. See, life is a responsibility. You have to take the charge of it and you have to try hard. So I started applying online. I applied on Naukri.com. I applied on Monster.com. I started browsing and meeting and connecting people on LinkedIn. And these are the different platforms whereby you can connect. Now I can say that there are other platforms also whereby you can find government opportunities such as mygovernment.in or Skill India organization. And now Instagram is also giving a lot of pages. People are coming up, all the new startups are coming up and they are marketing themselves, they are marketing their vacancies and all on Instagram platforms also. So these are the different online platforms whereby you can target, you can reach different vacancies and different opportunities together. The next important thing is references and friends. Like I gave you an example, how I met these two people in cafe and they started working with me. They wanted my inputs and we started working and I achieved to a good point there. So references and friends are very important. People always suggest that make good friends. I would also say the same thing. Make friends which empower you, which makes you achieve something great in life, which motivates you. and make random friends, like one who needs something, one who is having a stint of opening a startup, one who is having a great marketing skill. See, there is a, like a good and a bad side in every person. You just focus on the good side and you will definitely have success in life. The next thing is the alumni network, or the network of your college. I would say that most of the people who come to me and ask for any help regarding the career, I always first thing in what I do is I always go to my network. I always see for the opportunities what are there. So that is one thing whereby you can connect. The point why I was focusing on friends is like, if you make friends, for example, let's say you're in ICT and you're making friends of NIFTM, you can get vacancies which are coming in the NIFTM network or NIFTM alumni network. So this is one way where you can find where a job is. The next is the print media. See, a lot of us don't read newspaper. I'm not saying you to newspaper, but at least follow some, like employment news. I don't know how many of you know that there was a vacancy for there were 2000 vacancies for intelligence bureau which came in a month of January. I got to know this information while I was reading employment news, and there was a big whole article of 2 page, the center of the newspaper. So you have to follow these things also if you want to, find where a job. See, these are the various places where you can get where the jobs are, how much the jobs are, something like that. And then there is an outreach programs are also there which happens in the market, such as Skill India. The Skill India website, you can go and you can find out that there are a lot of programs which develop your skill, and you can also contribute in developing the rural economy, rural sectors also. There are various exhibitions and various summits which are happening. When I was working in Kevin K Private Limited, I used to, I used to go, even if I'm not allowed in my office hours, I used to go and visit various exhibitions such as health ingredient and food ingredients exhibition, bakery exhibition, spice exhibitions. There you can connect yourself with a lot of people who are there from the industries. See, there are different platform whereby you can get different of vacancies. For example, if you are going for LinkedIn platform, Internshala platform, you can get corporate vacancies, private firms vacancies, MNCs vacancies. If you go into mygovernment.in, or if you read any print media such as Pratyogita Darpan or Employment News, you will be able to get jobs which are related to government. If you are in the alumni network, or if you're talking to your friends, you will get jobs also regarding startups. So there are different places where you can find different jobs. So similarly, I would share you one more story. When I was in ICT, I was a placement coordinator also that time. We used to go to various exhibition to find these companies and to talk to them. uh, as a placement coordinator, I used to go like from wearing an ICT badge and all, and I used to try to make connections. So that was a responsibility. That was an official responsibility which was given to me. I was not trained in how to talk to people. I was not trained as a placement coordinator. Like I said, it was a student oriented, so everyone, we used to do a lot of things. So I was not given any training or something was specific to it, but still I used to muster up the courage and I used to go and talk to them. And that, like I told, talking to them eventually made contacts, increased my skill of communication, increased my learning, listening skills. So what I'm trying to say here is like, as a student, I used to do that. I used to do everything like that. So why can't you do it? Structuring your life is your responsibility. You can also go to an exhibition, you can enroll yourself into that, you can go and talk to people, you can see what opportunities can come. See, it's you who can do. None other can do it for you. It's only you who can do. So going further, I would say, um, like I'm very much focusing on now, this was the part where you can find where the jobs are. Now next thing, well, like I said, only you can do. So now it comes how to structure yourself, how to make a good profile. See, when you are putting yourself in front of someone, they are going to judge you, and it depends on you how they judge you. So you have to make your profile in that manner. You have to present yourself in a very effective and efficient manner that suits their requirement. And you have to increase your communication skill. Communication skills are, I will further divide communication into verbal and written communication. Verbal means you should have a clarity in what you want, how you talk to the person. In written, I would say that in written communication, like if you got any opportunity, you know that you have to write a CV to them, you have to mail something to the HR manager or to the career page. Then you have to work upon your CV, you have to work upon your cover letter, and you have to make a mail body. These three are very important things. Your CV must be short, concise, to the point, and should be updated to the requirement of that particular firm or a particular company. Now, talking about the reach, see, I would say that only by going to a platform, only by these things, you can, it depends on like how many people you are talking to, your total conversion ratio. But you can also increase your reach by talking about something. I would give you an example of one of my friend, Kunal Bhatia. He used to work in Mumbai. After leaving his job, he started posting videos on LinkedIn. And because of those, he just posted 3 videos, and because of those videos, he got so much of traction that a lot of people started coming. Rather than he going to people, a lot of people who were looking for young minds, they started coming to him, and they started coming with options like job vacancies and all. Just by making 3 videos, sharing their views, he gained so much of traction, and he was able to get a job, and which is a very fruitful job as of now. Second thing is your interest in USP. Always talk about your interest and your unique selling propositions. It means that what you are good at, what you want to pursue in life. Always try to post these things. Always try to comment on these kind of articles or pages on these internet platforms, whereby people will come to know that you are okay, you know about these things, and you're very interested on these things also, so they can connect with you rather you can connect with them. And the third important thing whereby you can increase your reach is a capacity building or skill development. See, there are a lot of platforms whereby you can increase your capacity. You can upgrade your skills, such as online courses. There are a lot of websites which gives you online courses, such as edX platform, LinkedIn Premium platform, Coursera, Udemy. I would not suggest you to buy LinkedIn Premium. Actually, they give a 1 month free, and in 1 month you can actually aggregate 10 certificates related to the work which you want to do or which you want to pursue in life, such as lean manufacturing tools, which is very much if you are able to learn any lean manufacturing tools such as Kaizen, Kanban, Pokayoke, or Six Sigma model, you will be very much invited into the industries, and you can work on various problems, because nowadays a lot of industries are getting mechanized, and these machines, they are not human beings, and they can never be human beings. So they usually a lot of problems with errors, variations. So these tools are very much needed in industries nowadays. And by learning these tools, you can extend your reach not even to food industries, but to other industries also, such as mechanical industries or chemical industries. Next, I would say is Minitab, which is also a certification tool, which also helps you to get certificates on statistical analysis, ANOVA, and variance, which also is a very much needed demand in the industries nowadays. Next, as quoted by Mr. Prakash, that you can get quality certifications such as like you can learn these you can get into various laboratories, testing laboratories. You can go into these sites whereby you can what are the fundamentals of ISO 22000, what is GHP, GMP, how to use OPRPs and prerequisite programs, and other various food safety norms and principles. You can learn all these certificates, which will, I would not say that this can guarantee you a job, but I would say that this will give you a cutting edge. This will sharpen your blunt knife. And because nowadays what is happening, a lot of industries are not seeking for specialization. In India specifically, people, whenever they hire you, they are looking for a lot of traits, such as whether he will be able to handle stress, whether he will be able to work with different teams, whether he will be able to work on co-development projects with other vendors. So these skills are going to be, you will be able to inculcate these skills only when you are very much open to all these things which is happening around you. And in a way, they can increase your employability also. For example, let's say there is a person A who is just having a postgraduate degree, and there is a person B who is having a postgraduate degree, and he is also certified in Six Sigma, and he has done certification courses in ISO 22000. You can, the answer is self-satisfactory. The B person is going to be much more employable than the A person. So, and these content, my friends, this is free in internet. You can get it. You just have to find a proper source, and you can get it free, and you can learn it. See, a certificate doesn't guarantee anything, but learning which you will do in pursuing the certificate is going to help you. Like I gave you the example of why I prepared too much for Tetra Pak, and but I couldn't get into Tetra Pak, but I got into Kevin Care. So the journey matters. The learning which you have inculcated in the journey, it matters. The destination, it doesn't matter here. So the learning which you will inculcate in getting the certification will definitely give you a cutting edge when you are there in an industry and working with the team. I would say that I was always inclined towards having brainstorming session with my research and development team, and I used to think always out of the box, and this used to increase learning, my learning also, and this used to increase the learning of the other people's also. This used to create a very environment which is full of different mind waves, and a lot of new products are coming. So like this way, I would say that some learning which I learned from my experience with working on this microwave cupcake, I implemented those learnings also in my project. So they in turn used to help me, and used to help me sail through this brainstorming sessions. So coming to the next, there are different testing laboratories which will help you to operate sophisticated analytical equipment such as HPLC and GCMS and etc. And these equipments are very much necessary in multinational companies. And if you are having a skill in that, I would say you can also go into the analytical team and get a job there. And if and also I would say that if you are having a little bit knowledge of this, you will be able to steer your thinking with this aspects also, because you know that concept too. So you can handle the situation arising with the quality team. You can handle the situation whereby you are asked about some analytical parameters and thinking about whether this is going to succeed in the long run. So inculcating all these knowledge will definitely help you everywhere in your life. Whatever, see, I would say whatever in knowledge gained, whatever investment you do on education is not going to go anywhere. It is going to be there and be there till you die. The next I would suggest is workshops and conferences. There are a lot of workshops and conferences which various colleges such as NIFTM, IFPT, CII, CFTRI, FIXI, and they usually conduct. And you can enroll yourself in, you can learn, and you can upgrade your skill, and you can develop your capacity. Various ICFOST, I would say ICFOST, AFSTI always organizes ICFOST in different college. I attended one in Mysore, and I would share you one more story. When I was in ICFOST in AFSTI Mysore, I went into this placement mela, where I saw that there are like 15-20 companies sitting together in a hall, and you can go and talk to, you can give your CV, cover letter, and you can start your interviews there. So you see that one thing can relate to one thing, same like domino effect. One thing will hit one thing, and this second thing can hit the other third thing, and we never know what is going to what we are going to achieve. So let's say that you have went for some certification course, and you met someone who is very much eager to give you a job. So something these things also happen in reality. Now I would say that there are certain opportunities which are overseas also. See, in overseas I would say that the jobs differ from country wise, but I would suggest that if you are going for overseas job, I would suggest that you achieve a very highly qualified, you become very highly qualified, or you gain a huge experience. Uh, uh, because if let's say there is a European country or other English speaking countries such as America, Canada, or England, and they are obviously they would be willing to give job to a high mind, but seeking someone from the other countries involve a lot of paperwork, and this paperwork people generally avoid, so they usually go for their own people itself. So, like ma'am said that there is going to be a separate session on this thing, and I'm not an expert on overseas job, so it would be best that they give their point of views. But the best way I have seen my friends going for overseas is they are going as a trainee. They're working there for 5 to 8 months, even 1 year, and getting a PPO out of them, and then started working as a permanent employee. So this is by far the best way which I have seen, which is having a great conversion ratio. Now, coming to the people who are very much out of the box, and I'm talking about the people who are thinking of starting their own startup, and entrepreneurs who are having some ideas. So they can get involved with these management institutes such as IIM, Ahmedabad, Lucknow, Kozhikode. They are having certain programs such as FII, which is Forum of Industry Interaction, whereby they'll visualize your project. They will help you upgrade that project, help you solve some technical issues with the project, management issues with the project, and they can even fund you for the project itself. So whereby by going into these FII, you can meet the different students, explore the campus, and you can inculcate your learning. When you want to talk to the professor, there are other summits which these colleges create, such as the Red Brick Summit TRBS, whereby you attend various workshops, you talk to the professor, and you can pave your way forward. There are also different programs such as faculty development programs, but I would suggest that all these things are going to be fruitful when you are having a clarity in the mind that what do you want actually. For a person who is just a graduate or even a postgraduate, they can explore further they can increase their skills further by going into various courses, or doing an MBA, such as by going into a FABM, which is Food and Agribusiness Management Program, Agribusiness Management Program, and from IIMs and different colleges such as IRMA and Manage. So these are the different opportunities which are lying ahead of you. And because see, you can sail your boat to any way, and never be in a situation whereby you feel that you are stuck. See, I would share a story of Ronnie Coleman. He was a very good gym freak. Like, he used to go to gym, and but he was also into police. He was a policeman also. He used to love gym so much that but he was not having any money for the gyms, for signing up for a gym, and also having food, because it requires a lot of food also to suffice your needs. So his instructor said, okay, I can give you the whole membership of the gym and also the food, but you have to sign up for the Olympics. And because of that interest that he wanted to go into the gym, he started preparing for that Olympics also. And I would say that he created too many world records in Olympics. He's having a lot of personal records also in the gyms. So see, one need can create another opportunity for you. Similarly, there was one friend of mine who got into IIT as a food technologist, okay, from IIT Kharagpur. But his main goal was into CS. So he studied the whole course. He passed out from the course. Then he went into a job, and he did the job for 1 year. He couldn't get his mind out of that CS, and then he skipped it started applying for these online courses which you will find in Udemy and all, and then he learned how to do this computer science, and then he got a job in Capgemini, and now he's a manager of the team. So you see here that you should not limit yourself to certain paths. You should not limit yourself to certain things. You should be open to a lot of things. You should be open to everything. We never know what is going to click us and where we are going to be in the coming future. Never stop preparing, I would say. My life is an example of that. We should never stop preparing. We should never stop learning stuff. We should never stop gaining knowledge. I would say that I was not good at handling pressure and handling interviews, answering answering the right answer what the person is seeking in an interview panel. I used to view videos on YouTube. I used to see how to answer this question. Tell me about yourself. How to structure yourself in an interview. How to sit properly. Things like these I used to learn every day while preparing for the placements and all, and they have helped me a lot. I even used to talk to my family member, various friends, and used to gain knowledge. I used to ask specific questions, and I used to get the answer. Eventually helped me. So we should never, stop preparing. You should always prepare yourself in background. There should always be this thing that you are preparing yourself. I have seen people are becoming stagnant, and people stay at a one position. See, we are not going to go anywhere if we are not having this ability to take risk taking ability, and a leap of faith is very much important in our life. What I am doing currently as a young professional was a risky thing. By shifting my whole from a product development background to someone who is now working with management systems and working with the team in the government, that is an example of leap of faith. See, we never know what is going to happen in the future, but to succeed, to go to a certain place, you have to take a leap of faith. You never know whether you will be able to cross the flowing river, but you will not cross unless you go and take that leap into the river. Only after taking the leap you will be able to visualize how much you have to swim, how fast you have to swim. So I would suggest, don't be stagnant, and don't stay at one thought. Don't be adamant over one thought. And one more learning I would say that I had now, as I'm ending my presentation, I would say this is a quotation which I have made. The only thing that differentiate a person who has everything and a person who doesn't is the mindset. What you think in your time, what you think in your subconscious mind will differentiate you from the other fields, other people as well, because everyone, even twins who start from the same family, goes to the same school, be in the same class, they come out differently. Why? Because we cannot see what the person is thinking. Okay, thinking is something which is very personal. So you think in the right manner, you think for you think for creating a good opportunities for you. Only thinking mindset can give you this courage to take the leap of faith. And I would suggest that that is the leap of faith, and risk is the only thing which is stopping you to achieve what you actually want to achieve. Coming to the opportunities, see, nowadays things are reforming at a very great age. We are in a very great moment, and I feel very proud that I have taken birth in this time. I have seen technology advancing. I have seen people changing. I have seen lockdown, and I would say that so much of things I have seen. I'm very much excited what will happen in the future. A lot of things are changing. A lot of pollution is being created. A lot of people are using fertilizers for harvesting the fresh produce. So a lot of FSSAI standards are there which are stagnant. See, we have taken standards from the codex. So a lot of work we have to do in the stagnant. For example, I would say that there is no particular standard whereby you can differentiate. You can see whether we can put fruit content or TSS. So there are different things. There are various loopholes in FSSAI also, whereby which can create various opportunities. I would say that Ministry of Food Processing Industries, they have, I'll just go backwards a little bit. From 2016, Prime Minister launched this scheme, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. Under this scheme, there were various 7-8 schemes which were launched, such as cold chain schemes and infrastructure scheme. And so these schemes usually come out every year, and similar schemes come out every year, and it creates a lot of employment opportunities. See, whatever work which was done in the previous scheme, for example, there was a scheme of Mega Food Park, which went from 2016 to 2020. It created 22 mega food parks in India. And now what will happen? There are a lot of mega food parks, which means that there are a lot of places whereby you can set up machineries. There are a lot of places whereby people who are setting up machinery will require new minds who know how to utilize those machineries, who know how to use these technologies to create a project. And if you are able to get training in marketing and branding, people are unaware of marketing and branding nowadays. A lot of farmers are there who don't know what branding is. So these kind of skills, they can utilize your skills, and you can generate income out of that fields also. So because the time is ever evolving, the things are changing at a very fast pace, and this is creating a lot of employment opportunities. The only thing is that how much you are working, how much you have taken it as a responsibility, and how much you are connecting yourself with the online media, how much you are following up these things. That is the only difference. And I think if you can do it, nothing is, cannot, nothing is there which you cannot achieve. So I would say that thank you. This was my presentation. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Wow, Pratik, very nice. If you can stop your presentation,
Yes, ma'am.
sharing.
Okay, ma'am, I have stopped it.
We can see your screen.
Oh, okay. I'm not able to find that option to stop. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yes. Thank you so much, Pratik. Your talk was so inspiring, very, very inspirational, and so honestly sharing all the minute details of your own success stories to all the audiences and students. I'm sure our students are going to get benefited. I myself have got motivated so much. So thank you for being so honest. And we have here some questions. Students want your LinkedIn ID. They would like to connect with you via LinkedIn, as well as if you wish, you can share your email ID.
Yes,
And
ma'am, I can share my email ID.
So in chat box, you can share. So we have few questions asked by students, and especially, you were as a student, you have already shared a lot of stories, and from how you decided to do something and you started preparing, but few students are asking that there is always a laziness. We think that okay, we try to always postpone things, we feel always lazy, we always feel demotivated. So what made you get inspired so much, and that really hit it and opened a big door of opportunity in your life? So what is your top tips to get over the laziness?
I would suggest the person who is asking this question that see, you're saying that you are lazy. I would say that you're lazy because you're not motivated. And why you're not motivated is because you're not listening or hearing to stories which will make you motivated. You cannot get motivated on your own. You cannot just sleep and wake up in the morning and feel motivated. It cannot happen like that. So you have to do something the previous night. You have to listen to a story of a person. See, one story motivates me a lot. There is a person, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He had a goal in life. He wanted to become a bodybuilder at a very young age. He prepared for that. Every day he used to do gym, and he used to feel happy that he is reaching to that goal. And the next time when he became the world bodybuilder, world successful bodybuilder, then he started pursuing for that for movies. After becoming successful in movie, he thought that let's do something with the society, and then he went for becoming the for the politics. He did. So I would say that these kind of stories, when you actually read about them, you will feel motivated. See the difference between why you are not getting motivated. I would say that you are thinking, or the friend circle you are in, I think you are at the top of your friend circle. So I would suggest change your friend circle. Be in a circle whereby every other person is very good than you. Then and only then you will see that something is there which is lacking in me, and then you will try to achieve that thing. Okay, for example, I am in a circle whereby I am the most smartest guy, and everyone is looking and seeking things from me. Then I won't get motivated, right? I won't have this thing. I won't learn anything. So when I'm in a circle whereby everyone is earning more than me, is having much more experience than me, they are having better views, they're having better views than me, they are thinking into the gray zone, they're not in the binary zone of thinking. This thing will actually motivate you that okay, this I should think like this, and I should solve problems like this. I have a lot of friends who are having life hacks, like they will steer through situations, and it makes me contemplate that why I am not able to think like this. And it will stop you being lazy. It will always push you ki, brother, my god, I'm not good at it here, I have to be good at it. This way you can actually push yourself in future. For example, I'll say that never used to wake up when I was in college. My one of my friend, he told that, brother, there is a very easy life hack. Just count to 1 2 3 4 5 and just wake up at 5. Just get out of the bed at 5. And still I use that 1 2 3 4 5 when I feel lazy or when I feel tired.
Excellent, Pratik. What a simple tip, and we many times forget about these simple things. And I think human life is very precious, and when we get this life, we should make best use of it. And also, our previous speaker, Mr. Prakash, also spoke about improving our network of circle, network in which our friends are there, and your thoughts are also in line with that. So another student is asking about the question. The student is a fresher, and he's appearing for an interview 8 to 9 times, but still he's not able to face that interview. So what are your top tips for improving the interview skill for a student, what that student should do?
Ma'am, I would suggest that the number one important thing in an interview is your professional competency. You cannot succeed in an interview unless and until you know your concepts well, you have studied well, and you know how to answer almost 80 or 50% of the questions. If you just go and ask any of your faculty, tell them, sir, ma'am, ask me some of the questions. If you're not able to answer 50% or 80% of the questions, just consider that you don't know anything. Go back, study hard, study for the whole night, study for the whole month, and make yourself that much comfortable. See, there are two aspects in an interview. One is the management aspects, how you're putting yourself, how you're talking to the people. There is the other aspect, which is the technical aspects. You have to be confident in both of them. You have to be having life hacks in both of them. Once you are done with the technical aspects, you can go to the management aspects. You can learn from the, see, one thing is like studying. You have to study, you have to make your concepts, your theorems, your everything strong when it comes to academics and technical informations. And the next thing, after you have done everything with this, I would say the reason why I didn't get into Tetra Pak was they told me in the interview, see, Pratik, we don't want some scientist working with us. We want a person who can be with the team. And they gave me this thing that, Pratik, this is going to be your last interview in the Tetra Pak. I think you are not going to get this kind of opportunity again here. And they told me two things. They said, Pratik, there are two drawbacks in you. They told me, first of all, you're thinking overconfident, and second, I forgot one thing. So something like this. And second, they said that we assume that you are thinking that you know everything much better than the managers also. So these were two management side drawbacks which I was having. So if one, see, I was very good at technical that time. I was very good at food engineering that time, and they said this thing which motivated that we are not looking for a scientist now. Okay, we want someone who can work with the team. So I realized that okay, there is something wrong with the management aspects as well. So then I started talking to people, like what is wrong when I'm talking to people. I in the interview, there was this last interview, it was a stress interview, and I would say I was like this. So they thought that I am getting angry or something like that. So I started making videos. There is a everyone is having a laptop now. You can click on that camera roll option. You can record a video talking to the camera, and you can see what effect the answer is creating, how fast your tonality is, how much gravity you are putting to the different words. And this is the management side, and how you're talking to the person, where are you looking. So this will help you steer the management side as well, which the company is looking for. Like I said, that people nowadays are looking for a mix of everything. So you have to structure both of them. Like I told you that I used to see videos that how to answer this simple question. Tell me about yourself. So after before the videos and before preparing, I was very much dumbstruck what to say. And after the videos and after preparing for this side also, I was much more confident. I always start this answer like I'm a very young and a dynamic personality, and this thing always gives a smile to the person who is interviewing me. So both of the sides you have to see, but the most important thing is your technical competency. Unless and until you're not having the technical competency, believe me, forget that you are going to crack anything.
Yes, excellent, Pratik. Your answer is very, very true. Having a technical competency is always very, very important. One more question. I will move ahead with the question. You have worked also in the private industry, and now you are with Ministry of Food Processing. So, what is your comment or your experience working with private industry or government? So, as a graduate, one should opt for a private food industry job, or one should focus on getting a government job. So what is your guidance or suggestion?
Ma'am, I would say that it all depends on the thinking of the person, what he wants to do in the life. See, both of the field are going to make you work for the whole day, for the whole time. Whatever they are paying, they are going to take it back. And you are going to be on the table working on your computer, or working with the products, or working with the machinery. So it's like the thought of mind which will help you. See, how I visualize is we are the government, and there is every one of us is a gear, and we always say that the government is corrupted. So why are we saying that we are corrupted? Because we are the gear, we are the part of the government. This thought which came into my mind, I felt that if I can go into a government and I believe that my gear is good, and because of my gear I can convert and motivate the other gears which are working with me, I can make them good. So I can, from my area of influence, I can change this thing. I can make the government structure once again good. So this was the thing why I went into the government. If there is nothing good and wrong in a private or a government firm, you can pursue the government side also, or you can pursue the private side also. I would say that growth is in all the fields, and growth depends on how you actually work in that position. So there is nothing like you should go into a private field or you should go into a government field. If you like the profile, if you like working for the profile, see, you should not work for the company or for the organization. You should work for the work which you are given. I used to like product development, so I pursued product development. Then my thought process changed, and I wanted to work for rural economy. Then I thought that I should work for the rural economy. So this is the only difference which should be in the people's mind.
Yes, so thought process improves, and we do not know now in future what will come in our mind, and maybe you will go somewhere else. We don't know. So there is one more question, Pratik, and this question has been, popping out for last Saturday also, and always students are very much worried and confused. They always ask, whether in food industry, a BTech graduate is preferred or going for MTech, having that MTech degree is preferred. So what is, having a BTech graduate and MTech graduate, how, one is advantageous over other, or one need not go for MTech, BTech itself is enough. What is your comment?
I would suggest the person that added knowledge is always beneficial. So see, BTech peoples are usually employed for the jobs like production, quality, and handling the production side of the work. And it requires more of the manpower than the actual conceptual power. And as you will increase your skills by doing any MTech or any other post graduation, you will increase your conceptual skills. So people will hire you for the conceptual jobs. And according to my perspective, I was into production. I didn't want to go into production. I saw that it is a never ending loop of supply and demand, whereby if I am there, I will be stuck into fulfilling the supply and demand, and nothing conceptual will be inculcated in me. So I pursued the MTech, and the job which I got was much more conceptual and less on the manpower side. And I would say that this thing, the thought which I have said, doesn't cover all the things. I have seen various BTech graduates who are getting into R&D also. For example, there was one of my friends, Sagar Yadav, who got from the BTech itself, he got into ITC. So again, it comes to the skill set. So the more skills you are having, the more the way how you portray yourself in front of the person who is actually interviewing you is the most important thing. And technical competency and management side, both are important, and it will give you a cutting edge. You can even be better than a than a MTech person being a BTech guy if you know how to say it. But I would say that always try to pursue job which require more of your conceptual skills rather than the use of your mouth or the use of your hands, something like that.
Wow, excellent, Pratik. What a great advice to our student. One student, Nikita, would like to ask. She did her graduation in botany, chemistry, and then opted for food technology in masters out of just interest. And she says that she doesn't have any knowledge of food technology, literally nothing to add to her CV. So she's asking how can she improve herself and be efficient enough to get a job. I'm sure in your talk already you have mentioned various tools and skills through one can build and empower ourselves, but just a recap.
Okay, Nikita, I would say that it's good that you have done botany and chemistry, and you are now pursuing food technology from the master sides. But why do you think that you're not having the knowledge? And if you think that you're not having knowledge, then I would suggest go and read books and get knowledge first. See, there is a simple question. If you can explain water activity with 3 different definitions, starting from a very layman definition to a definition which a PhD person can give, involving words like fugacity and a word like just normal tomato example. If you can give 3 different definitions for this water activity concept, then you realize that you have actually studied a lot. And if you don't know these 3 different definitions, I would believe that there's a less knowledge. And Nikita, you yourself are saying that frankly, I have very less knowledge. This word is very self-satisfactory. Go and inculcate knowledge about food technology. If you're saying you're having very less knowledge, read about food technology, read it again. There are a lot of PPTs and presentations and books which are shared in the classroom courses. In the other different IIT Kharagpur also launches NEPTL courses. Read about it. Make your basics strong, because questions are usually related to basics when you come to industries. And after you have done all these things, when you've structured your basics well, then try to go with these other tools such as Kaizen, Kaizen, lean manufacturing tools, and other certification courses. But the basics are very important. You will be considered nothing if your basics are not strong.
Very rightly said, Pratik, that we have to build our own career by improving skill and technical competence and many other skills one can build, while if there is a will, there is a way. So that You have already proven through sharing your own story that how from graduation to post graduation and then working in a food industry and then appearing for several times for the ministry's interviews and written test. You finally went through there. So there's one last question I would take, and then we will close the session. That question is asked by one student who has done BSc Food Technology. So compared to BTech Food Technology, do we also BSc Food Technology graduate have equal opportunity? Or again, students are asking again and again same question about opportunity. So how compared to BTech, BSc Food Technology has some advantages?
There are equal opportunities. I would say that one of my friend who is doing an MBA from Manage, there is a college. Most 70% of the classmates are BSc Food Technology itself, BSc Agriculture itself. So a degree, I would say, doesn't stop you from getting the opportunity. Like I will say that this NPMU job which I am doing currently, this is a national program management unit. There are different state program management units in every 35 states and UT, whereby they are asking for various individuals who are having good food technology background, and they are, I think, open for BSc also. So BSc and BTech doesn't matter. If a company is saying that they actually want a BTech, then we cannot do anything. But everything again round ups to what skills you're having.
Yes, absolutely. It is what is you're carrying the knowledge in the food area, and it doesn't matter what tag you are carrying with. So I am really thankful, Pratik, for sharing your excellent knowledge and expertise and your own experience. I know that in the YouTube or in the books and Google, all other information could be found, but the own experience working in the industry or wherever, sharing those experiences, what is a real value addition. So I really thank you on behalf of all the students, taking out your time from your busy schedule and sharing your thoughts with us. So thank you so much, and I look forward in future to having your mentorship for our students. Thank you so much.
Thank you.